And we are back for another episode of Bell to Bell, another edition of Bell to Bell, brought to you by Jackpot City Casinos. Guys, if you haven't already, check out jackpotcitycasinos.com or download the Jackpot City Casinos app to play some slots, have some fun. They got roulette, they got everything on there. And I'm here with none other than Rain City Toys. RV, what's going on, brother?
Well, lots going on. You know, what
Actually
happened
is
this week, right? Yeah, there's too much going on, right?
There's a lot going on.
A lot of good, a lot of bad, a lot of mild.
Well, I made jokes about how like everyone just, when December comes around, it's like WrestleMania, but it feels like we're in the season. It feels like WrestleMania season. Yeah. It feels like
it didn't feel like that last week.
No, but like tell me this, like
we weren't even unsure like what was happening, and now I feel like things are
I'm still unsure. I'm still kind of unsure what's happening. We're talking about today, there's a couple of things where I'm like, wait, already? Like, is this gonna happen? Is it not gonna happen? Yeah. First things first, really quickly, like, isn't it crazy how like this was, even when you were growing up, like WrestleMania season was always like the busiest. Like this is when your friends would watch, everybody would tune in. Then right after WrestleMania, everyone would cut out.
Yeah, it still happens. You still got like the casuals that start watching, and then I've had guys that would just come over for WrestleMania and say we've had no idea what's happening after.
That's basically what happens. And then SummerSlam comes on. Yeah. But talking about casual fans, something they're probably going to be tuning into just dropped today. I have not watched it yet. I've seen clips online. I've seen a bunch of news bites, but WWE Unreal Season 2 dropped today. And one of the biggest things on there that has been coming out is that Becky Lynch mentioned that she is going to only have, this is her final contract. Like the contract she has right now is her final contract and she's wrapping up. How do you feel about that?
I don't know if I believe it. Just after we got the first season, but Unreal, right? Mm-hmm. That's what it's called. I feel like they're also selling it to the audience. Like I still don't know what's true and what isn't anymore. And because it's still a WWE production, Triple H and all these guys, they might be playing us. They may not be playing us. Now, I don't doubt that she wants to retire. I mean, she is a mom. She probably wants to spend more time with her daughter. But at the same time, I just think it's another WWE production that they realize people love to watch and are tuning into. So they can fudge a few things here.
Yeah, but I don't think it was a major angle. Once again, I haven't watched it. By next week's episode, we'll talk about Unreal. But like I saw the clips and I think it was just something she said in passing. And that being said, my takeaway was two things on the whole Becky Lynch last contract thing. One, we don't know how long her contract is.
Yeah, it could be 5 years.
It could be 3 years. It could be 5 years. It could be a Bret Hart 10 years. I don't know.
Until she announces that this is my final year, I'll care. Until then, it's
like we'll look like somebody will look into it. We'll figure it out maybe by next week. But I don't even know how long her contract is. We're acting like she's saying this and she's gonna like finish wrestling like next year. Like we don't know. It could be like next 5 years. She could have signed a 6-year contract. We don't know.
That's why I'm not too concerned yet.
Yeah, so that's one thing that I took away from it. And the second thing I took away from it was it could be her last like full-time contract. There is an opportunity. Yeah. She gets signed to a Legends deal. She's some sort of ambassador. She still makes appearances like a Nikki Bella, like others make appearances after where they are part-time. They come once. I mean, where's AJ Lee, right? We saw her signing her contract. She's there every once in a while. Like maybe she ends up on a schedule like that. And that's what it is, where it's like she becomes more of an attraction and Becky shows up the same way like Trish shows up for like a couple of
I think Becky loves wrestling too much not to wrestle.
Yeah.
That part-time, she'll be there. Especially Seth, right? Seth is still going to be involved for a while.
I don't know, because I don't want to like say for sure, but I feel like Seth says something too, being like, oh, I'm winding down. It's a weird period, RV, because the next 6-7 years is like, I know everyone's doing this 2016 challenge, but like 10 years. The next 10 years is going to look so weird because Roman said, oh, I got 1 or 2 years left. Punk, who's 47, said, oh, I'm going to retire at the age of 50. Becky's saying this is her last contract. We're going to talk about AJ Styles in a minute here. Like, it seems, and we just saw Cena retire, it just seems like everybody is kind of winding down, and it's interesting.
Yeah, well, the new talent's already coming in, and you can see them trying to push the younger guys on us. And some of the guys I'm okay with. Some of the guys, they still are growing on me, but you're right. When you start taking into consideration these guys' age, you're like, shit, they actually don't have too much time left. Like, I still think Seth can go another 15, 20 years, but then you think, well, holy crap, he probably can't, right?
I mean, I do think the talent is a lot more athletic and probably could go longer than the guys from back in the day, and they're not drinking as hard and partying as hard and hitting the road the same way. Like the road life has kind of changed for them as well. Like
what these guys do,
they're doing this killer European tour, but they're not doing house shows 300 days a year anymore. You know what I mean? So it's like a little bit more possible.
Look at Rey Mysterio. He's still doing it. AJ Styles, like for the guy to like bounce off the top rope and do a splash, like I don't even think we can even try to climb the top rope, right? And we're younger, so
I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Once again, we'll watch Unreal this week. It just dropped like this morning, and we're here recording the show.
I mean, we're in the West Coast, and I swear, I think it popped up on Netflix for me like at 3 a.m. or 2, 3 in the morning. Yeah,
I was knocked out. But like, we'll watch it. We'll talk about that next week. We'll make that a segment where we talk about
I am excited
Unreal.
to watch it because I did enjoy the first part. I really hope now that they're not swerving us with this stuff now.
Yeah, I wonder if they realize, because now it's like it's a second season that like we can play. Like I said, there was a lot of things that happened in the past year where I was like, this makes no sense. Like I wasn't a big fan of the whole Pat McAfee Gunther thing. I thought it was just like this road bump in the road that meant nothing. But then when I saw the preview, I'm like, and I even said it before I saw the preview, I'm like, oh, this is probably going to be for Unreal. And it was for Unreal. So like there's going to be stuff like that. They obviously cover Seth's fake out injury. They cover R-Truth getting released, booking Chelsea Green again and stuff like that. So from the clips I saw, it looks really good. We'll talk about the next week. It was a big week for TNA. TNA Wrestling had a massive week that premiered on AMC.
Was it really a big week for them?
It was, and for them, it was. It actually was a big week for them. Now, was it a big week for wrestling fans? Was there some major shift in wrestling? Did TNA become the number 2 promotion? I'm going to die on the hill that I said last week. It's going to be hard for them to become the number 2 promotion if you're under the WWE umbrella. But that all being said, it just felt like the same show. Regardless of it being on a new network, and outside of the many, many video packages, which was good. I appreciate them. I'm not dogging on that. It just felt like the same show. There's a couple of debuts. But there's always people showing up in TNA, so
I tuned in. I saw AJ Styles. I'm like, okay, they're bringing some hype, and then I started watching it, and it was mid, the fact I was probably one of those believers too that TNA was going to be number 2, and I did say, hey man, I'm enjoying TNA a little bit more than AEW, but I'm probably gonna have to backtrack and say, They're not number 2. AEW is definitely number 2. TNA's
it's just the production. Like I don't know. I think once again, I've said this a million times. I don't like having high expectations about anything because it's very easy to have your expectations be let down when you expect too much. But I was thinking like, okay, I watched TNA off and on for the past 2 years again, like especially with the NXT involvement and all that. Like I've tuned in, and and I like a lot of the talent there, like Mike Santana and Kaz, and
they got great talent.
Ton of great talent. But it is a stacked roster. Morris there, everybody, Nick Nemeth. I just was expecting something fresh, like a new entrance, maybe change the yellow ropes to something else different, like red ropes, like make it like the production look different. Like this is new. We switched things up for AMC. And if there was casual viewers tuning in for the first time because of the hype, like they're getting something they've never seen before. And I didn't feel that way.
I don't think they captured a new audience, right? They definitely didn't capture a new audience. Like I don't see anyone I know that's a casual fan tuning in to watch TNA again. Or like we'll watch it if they got spare time, but not something they're going to look forward to. Not right now.
They added, and they didn't really do anything on this episode outside of maybe the title change and the debuts where it's like, oh, I want to follow this story to see where it goes. Because they had a pay-per-view directly after on Saturday, which was solid as well. But like it wrapped up a couple of things like the Dirty Dango retirement, this and that. Mike Santana retained again, and Nick Nemeth tried to. Just the biggest thing that is kind of like a big thing was to me was the title change and the fact that Daria Ray, formerly known as Sonya Deville, debuted as a secondary authority figure. And I believe on Busted Open, she said she only signed a 6-month agreement right now, meaning she says she sees it going longer, but right now it's just for 6 months. And it's like, oh, like, I don't know, like that was cool. And then Elena's back. She took a hiatus from wrestling. She returned to TNA because she was featured on there previously. So I'm just kind of on the...
Well, that I didn't mind. I enjoyed like her return. I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. Maybe spices up the women's division there.
Yeah, I mean, they're losing some women. They lost some men. We're going to talk about that in a second too. I don't know, like nothing. I'm trying to think of something. Like I'm rambling, trying to think of something that I was like, that was like, that made me want to... And the only thing I could think of was... Elena and the Daria Santino segment of like storyline wise, like, oh, I want to see where this goes.
That's
Everything
the only
else,
that sticks out for me. So
yeah, everything else was good. There was good wrestling. Like a lot of people were not a fan of the whole Elegance brand segment with Perez Helton, and I think the inspiration
Dixie
are out
Carter?
the door. Huh?
What about
Oh yeah,
Dixie
Dixie
Carter?
came out and got booed. But see, like, I get that. Like, this is so crazy. So I remember, like, and I was in the loop. Like, I knew what was happening in TNA during that time, or Impact at that time. But like, I don't have an emotional investment in the Bully Ray Dixie Carter beef, maybe as much as other people, because I wasn't fully watching at that time. Like, I
Were you a
remember
little
it.
disappointed not to see Jeff Jarrett there? Maybe. Did you care that he was there?
No, he's at AEW. Like, he wasn't gonna be there.
Okay.
I get it, but like, yeah, that like
It just felt a little empty without Jeff Jarrett.
if you're not working with WWE, there's a very slim. If you're working for AEW, there's a very slim chance you're gonna be there. So I didn't have any expectations of that. But yeah, I've watched TNA since 2002. I've been in and out of it since 2011. I remember Bully putting Dixie through the table. I just did, it just, I don't know. It was good. AJ, the one thing, the other thing that was like, I don't think it's gonna play out, but they teased it. And I was like, which will get us to like what we'll talk about later too, once again about AJ Styles. He keeps coming up was, they did kind of tease AJ looking at the TNA title again as if like he was interested in going after it. But it's like, we know the clock is ticking for AJ Styles, so we'll see.
Unless he's retiring from WWE.
No, he's retiring from wrestling. Why would he retire to WWE and go to TNA?
Because that's the house that AJ Styles built.
It really is. But like, I do want to see him wrestle there one more time. So that's where I'm like, this Royal Rumble thing might be a rib on us, because I do want to see him wrestle again. Let's get into this whole AEW, the Rascalz. I know we don't talk about AEW on this show, but like we do know that the Rascalz left TNA, as we're talking about TNA.
Yes, they did.
And they joined AEW, and they cut a promo on
AEW.
They cut a promo on AEW Collision, and 3 of them popped out the door, and evidently missing was Trey Miguel, and we found out right after. It was, I don't know what came first. I think I saw Trey first. Everyone noticed he wasn't there. That was like the first initial, like, hey, wait a minute, there's only Wes, Nathan, and or Zachary and Myron. Where's Trey? And then I guess it's Desmond Xavier, not Wesley anymore.
Yeah, Wesley.
Desmond, Myron, and Zach popped out the door, but Trey Miguel wasn't there, and everyone was kind of like, oh, he's absent. I wonder what the deal was. He's not part of the segment. Lex interviewed him. He didn't pop out the door, to the point where you on social media and Trey says, hey, I'm going to take a break from wrestling. Let me, give me space, respect my peace, et cetera, something along those lines. And then following that, Fightful reports, Trey Miguel released some AEW contract. More details coming soon. It was followed up by, I think yesterday, it caused an uproar on X where Trey was kind of like, people have made mistakes in the past, et cetera. But how do you feel about Trey Miguel and this entire situation not being part of the Rascalz initially with the AEW jump?
I mean, it's cool that they jumped over, but just like everyone else, I think they're just going to get lost in the mix. They could have had all 4 members. They can have all 3 members. They're just going to be another faction that gets put on TV for random shows and random matches, and I don't think they're going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Good talent, but just another faction getting thrown in there.
I have seen multiple reports of why Trey might have been let go, and other people DMing me with their own theories, and I don't want to get into like the nitty gritty of the rumors of it all. There was some like old screenshots of a Facebook interaction that resurfaced on X, and someone else kind of DM'd me and was like, oh, do you think it's because of this? And to be honest with you, I don't really care. I think Trey's a great person. I've had great conversations and interactions with Trey, and honestly, when I think of the Rascalz, I think of Desmond, Zachary, and Trey. Not so much Myron. I know he's been part of it more recently, but like those are the 3 I think of. And I think, it sucks that he's actually not part of it, because it doesn't, I don't know. I know people have left and come in this group. Zachary and Desmond both went to NXT, and Trey was still there, and he wasn't really doing the whole Rascalz thing. Like, it's like, I know this group hasn't been together all the time, but like, I just feel like it's one of those situations where he's like a part of it, even if he's not there. And I don't know if the door is fully closed or what the situation actually is. We can sit here and talk about rumors all day, but I think
maybe they'll let the air clear a little bit before.
let the air clear. Maybe 6-7 months from now or a year from now, the Rascalz have some sort of storyline going on, or maybe they lose a member due to an injury or something, and that's where you see Trey resurface. Like maybe this is just a thing where like everyone had to cut their ties and just like maybe there's some things they had to sort out.
Yeah.
Maybe
but as
someone
a faction,
maybe
like I said, I
yeah.
think they're just gonna get lost in the shuffle. There's
Yeah, we talked about that last week. I don't know where they. I don't know. I think I talked about what Terra was like. I don't know.
They're like every other wrestler, like in AEW right now. Just
they're really good wrestlers that can do all this stuff.
Great wrestlers, but everyone's a good wrestler there. But
no, I agree with you. Unless they group up with a team to fight like one of the other groups, like the Don Callis family or the Death Riders, like them as a group only has so much of like there's so many groups in this company that aren't really.
I feel like AEW's
where's the Acclaim? They're on Collision. Like where are so many people that are like
Hangman Page just won another trios championship.
Yeah, with Jet Speed.
Yeah,
you know,
like wasn't he fighting for the world title?
He is.
They pulled the juice on him.
They have to get the belt off Hobbs. They have to get the belt off Hobbs.
You think it's worse to be a tag team champion or a triple tag team champion or whatever? A trios champion.
I think trios champions are forgettable. I think the title will one day. You're more likely to drop and like vacate and just get rid of the trios titles sooner than you'll ever get rid of your tag titles. You might never get rid of your tag titles.
Trios title is more of a demotion than a tag title.
I don't think it's demotion. I just think it's
a pretty big demotion, man. You ever main event to trios?
Yeah, I just think it's another title. But I just don't think it's ever going to be as important as a tag title.
Yeah, so less value than tag title.
Yeah. If like I was going to rank the belts, it would fall below.
Then it's a demotion.
I guess so. That all being said, do you think Trey ends up back in TNA? Is this a situation where WWE takes interest in him? Or do you think he comes back to AEW?
It really all depends on how the Rascalz are used in AEW. Like I said, if they are being utilized like everyone else, just throwing in random matches, don't really have too many promos, they're fillers. Do you really need Trey at this point?
TNA could use them.
Yeah, like if they started in TNA, like the Rascalz, they'd get more airtime. I think the fans will love them. They would grow more there. With AEW, I'm sure the money's better. That's why
That's what I said. Yeah, I think that's what I said.
I mean, I would
get in the bag.
Yeah, I jump ship as well too. But do you think people really on AEW care about the Rascalz right now?
I think they do because they're new, but I do think there's like a list.
Let's talk a list about of new. Let's see what happens in 2 months.
They made a list of like all the new signees and of just this year, and it's pretty insane to say the least. It's do you think AEW should like, because they don't do it often, that's kind of like contracts expire and then whatever, and then we'll move on from AEW. But do you think they need to like trim the fat? Like, do you think there's too much talent there? Like, they do have Collision and Dynamite and Ring of Honor. Like, there's 3 shows.
Hard to say too, because as anyone that wants money, you don't want anyone to lose out on contract.
No, yeah.
Right, but I would love for AEW to go back to what they were doing when they originally launched, like focus on their homegrown talent, because signing people is good. Like, I get it. It draws interest for like that week or two. But like, I need to know the wrestlers at AEW, the ones that have been there since day one.
Put the money thing aside, though. Right? Forget about everyone. We know if they go to AEW, hopefully they're making more money than they were making before, and that's great. And obviously, we don't want anyone to lose out on money. But creatively, because Jim Ross used to always say on his podcast, and he used to listen like, "Oh, there's 2 reasons wrestlers would get frustrated or mad about something. It's the 2 C's. It's cash and creative." Okay, let's take away cash for a second. Creatively, like, do you think like there's kind of a cap of what where you can be in the show because there's so much roster? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, are you ever gonna surpass a Hangman or be more important than a Swerve or a Moxley right now?
Well,
if you're just coming in,
I don't obviously personally know Tony Khan, but I feel he's more open to ideas than Triple H and WWE writers would be. So if you had an idea and you went to go pitch it to them, I think he would listen. And I think he probably even let you go on TV and try out your gimmick. But to your point, because there's so much talent, how many times are they going to let you keep trying that gimmick or keep giving that gimmick airtime? Because everyone has an idea. And I think Tony Khan is just too nice to give everyone some type of creative input, what they want to do. So I don't know if it would long term. It doesn't really stick because not everyone can get the TV time on it, right?
No, I agree with you. I just like I do think like just the signing of everybody. Like, is there creative plans for everybody? Like, is it
No,
just
of course
signing
not.
people?
There's gonna be.
Is it just signing people to stack your roster up? Is it just signing people to have great matches? Is it signing people to fill up your whatever it is of
I think
6,
Tony
7, 8 hours of TV a week? If there's a pay-per-view, like 15 hours.
So they don't go to WWE.
Is it that? I don't know. Like, it just because it's just like.
He might be a good person too, right? He's just genuinely like people, right?
But to your Rascalz point, it's like if you brought him in and there's no creative plans for them, like what was the point? Kind of, is my point.
The point
like,
was so they don't go to WWE.
If there isn't room for other people, if you don't have nothing to do for people, like is it okay to like I'm sure like I wonder if they've ever held a meeting being like, hey, does anybody like feel like they're not being used properly here or not happy here that we want to be like the contracts?
I'm sure
like,
there is.
That should be a meeting one day because there might be like 2 or 3 people to be like, you know what? Yeah, I want to, because it's not like nobody's left AEW being like, oh, I didn't feel creatively fulfilled or like I was going to reach. Look at Mike Santana. He's a current TNA world champion. And where did most people first, like most mainstream fans first get exposure of Santana? It was Santana and Ortiz in AEW, right? So it's like, but he went better himself and he's doing other things. And he's one of many that have done that. Like Stephanie Vakir, she was never signed to AEW, but she wrestled there. Like that's the first time a lot of people saw her. Now look at her, right? She chose not to go the AEW route, and she's like a world champion in WWE. Like there's opportunities outside her too. Like so, I'm so curious if there's wrestlers there that kind of feel like they've hit a wall and would like to leave. Like it's just.
Yeah, I guess the guys,
and that goes for all companies. That goes for TNA and WWE too. Like there's wrestlers in WWE too that probably feel that way too. Like.
Yeah, I just think the guys have been kind of wrestling for a while, grinding the indies when they get that guaranteed money. And I think we live in a world now where economically you want your paycheck.
Yeah.
So I think you can settle on creative. But I think Tony Khan also watches a lot of wrestling where he probably sees a match and he's like, oh man, I'd love to put this match together. So as soon as they're free agents, he quickly signs them so he can have his dream match. Every week he has a dream match. So.
Yeah, and then wrestlers need to work on the money side of things. Like I said, I was trying to avoid the money side to say the creative side. I get it.
I mean, they do got
if
two
the money's
shows.
good, you'll settle on the creative. But I'm just saying, like, if you're creatively stumped, like, wouldn't you want?
I mean, the good thing with AEW still though is they do got 2 shows. I mean, so does WWE, but
3.
AEW's got 2 or 3.
Ring of Honor. Don't forget about it.
Okay, sure. We'll put Ring of Honor in there too. So there is still a lot of opportunity to wrestle, and that's what a lot of these guys like to do, right? So, they're still getting to wrestle. Not everyone's sitting on the shelf.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people just not wrestling.
No, there's still a lot of people on the shelf. Not everyone's on the shelf. Right?
Yeah, but there's still a lot of people that just aren't wrestling, or like if they are, nobody's seeing it. So I don't know. RV, I'm gonna spin the slots 3 times. If I win, I gotta make a hot take. If I win any money, if I don't win any money, you have to make a hot take. Let's see what happens here. Spin number 1. Spin number 2. Here we go, man. Spin number 3. RV, you gotta make a hot take.
There you go. Brock Lesnar's coming back to the Royal Rumble. He's going to win it. He's going to go on to main event WrestleMania, and he's going to fight Cody Rhodes because Cody Rhodes is getting his title back. That's my
honestly, as long as it's not Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, I'm with it.
Head to jackboxcity.com and catch your bonus today. Play like a champ and win like a champion.
Let's talk about WWE. A lot has went down this week. They were in Ireland for Belfast, the home of Fit Finlay for Raw. SmackDown, I believe they were in the UK. On the SmackDown side of things, we kind of figured out the playing field for Saturday night's main event coming up, and we'll do our predictions in a minute here. But how do you feel about the usage right now, before we get into Raw, of Trick Williams, and how the show ended with Trick Williams standing tall over Sami Zayn? Like the Trick Williams rise is it's going well.
Just his theme song alone is getting people hyped. When that song hits, and we always discuss this, we love characters, we love the drama, we love the story, we love entrances, right? And his entrance right now might be one of the best entrances in WWE. When that song drops, like, who doesn't want to bob their head and start singing that trick, right? Yeah. Right. So I'm fine with it.
I still am curious how many like younger generation people remember Whoop That Trick from Hustle and Flow. Was that the movie? Was it Hustle and Flow? Where he's making a rap song in the hood, and he's like, whoop that trick. And then it was like a very popular thing when we were kids.
We sit.
I wonder if like kids today even know that was a thing.
No. I think they probably think it started from NXT. So
They're probably like, no, like that's Trick Williams. He created Whoop That Trick. Like, no, like that was
just
like
like
a
John
thing.
Cena, right? You can't see me, right? If you listen to the story, John Cena.
I just because I was like, when I first heard of Whoop That Trick, I was like, what was the other stuff? It's hard out here. It's hot out here for a pib.
Yeah.
That was a great movie. Anyways, I'm hyped for Trick. I actually like.
I think they're doing a great job. They're selling him well. I love the fact they're bringing someone fresh and not getting him to lose. And
I think it was like 3-4 weeks ago. Like, well, I'm still concerned about NXT. Don't get me wrong, but we also talked about like the SmackDown roster where we're like, okay, it's Cody and Drew. Like, who else could he be fighting? And we're like, yeah, that's true. There's not those many, like, you know. And with this tournament, with the Rise of Trick, they're like bulking up the roster with the opportunity of Oba Femi possibly also coming here. The opportunity of Will Hobbs also coming here. Like, I think they're trying to build more contenders for their QB1 Cody Rhodes once he gets that title back. And you're building Trick. You're building, you know, they're still teasing Randy. They've been teasing everybody, Matt Cardona, all this stuff. Like, and I think they're bulking up that SmackDown roster because SmackDown felt pretty thin right now, and I like Trick as a star. But it's also made me think, because like, man, it will be interesting after this tournament, kind of whatever, like, when Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes crossed paths because they're on the same show. And for us hardcore fans that love NXT, we're like, wait a minute. They're on the same show. Like, when are they gonna intersect? Because we know their history.
I'm still a little surprised that they're running all these guys on SmackDown against Cody compared to them running it on Raw with Punk. Because in my head, as bad as it sounds, sometimes I still think the Raw title is the B title and Cody's title is the title. So I don't have that.
I don't have that.
You don't have that anymore?
No, I don't.
Unfortunately,
Roman. I don't think I've had that ever. Even like the only title that I used to think less of. This is the thing, because in my brain, that world title on Raw is still the world title from back in the day, the big gold. Like, I think it's tied to that in my brain. So I don't feel that way. The only title I kind of felt that was less than was the Universal title, because it was named the Universal title. And also there was a point in my life personally where, because I thought the spinner title looked like a toy, I didn't take it seriously.
That was the best title.
I didn't take it seriously. I felt like that was a toy title.
The best title.
Yeah, I thought that was a toy title, and anyone that held the big gold looked like a champion.
No.
The only person that belt ever looked good on was Cena. Everybody else looked like they were holding a toy. Anyways, back to Carmelo. Another cool thing was he's doing the U.S. Open Challenge. He's the champion. They were in the UK. And Leon Slater, who's from there, came out as a thing. A lot of people thought Leon did not show up on that TNA AMC show because WWE wanted him there for this. Do you think it was visa issues, or do you think WWE just wanted him there for this?
Oh, it's definitely WWE. Come on. You know, he couldn't get his flight back in time, or maybe TNA was too cheap to fly him back from the UK. They're like, just take your time. Take the next flight. You know, the most reasonable, economical flight back. We're not going to rush you back again.
They totally scratched an entire X Division title match for the fact that they wanted him here for this Open
Challenge.
When you
think TNA, you think of X Division. Like, that is
I know, but tell me this then. Does that not back up my argument that there's no way this company is going to be number 2 if they just feel like they're under WWE? Because this shouldn't have happened if you're the number 2 company. Like,
if WWE keeps pulling their talent when they feel like it, it's going to be really tough to...
They gave them Joe Hendry, though. They gave him Joe Hendry and so Ruka and Zarya. I mean, for Leon Slater.
If they continue at this rate, they might be number 4.
Yeah, I just was kind of like, okay.
Leon Slater should have been there.
No, he should have been at TNA. It's dope. It's dope that he was in this Open Challenge. I think that was super. It would have been great if he could have done both somehow. Obviously,
no, but okay, maybe it was just me watching it. You know, at that time, was the crowd really that excited for Leon Slater? Like, they were
not, but it was cool for him to wrestle in his hometown.
Yeah, it was his hometown. I totally get it. So I think
home country.
Yeah, home country. They could have chosen anyone. I mean,
it would have been more important.
And TNA could have pitched it to them too, like, hey, he's not, that over yet.
Why would you say that? Hey, he's not that over. Our talent's not that over.
You want to keep him on your show.
Our X Division champion's not that over.
You gotta play it down with their guys. Like, he's not that good. Just let us use him for our TV.
And I think, to your point, you just made, the X Division titles, like, when you think of TNA, that's something that is symbolic of TNA, something that people remember since day one. That was different about TNA, and to not have him on the AMC debut with that belt, or even on the first pay-per-view right after, is kind of like, that's a belt. Like, Every company has a world title. Every company has tag titles. Not every company has an X Division title, like.
That's TNA, right? When you think, when I think TNA, I think of X Division. So for him not to be there was a big loss.
Trick. Another thing that I want your opinion on before we move to Raw is that Trick beat Matt Cardona, which was like, why'd you put these two again? Like, if you would have asked me,
tournament,
I would say like Damian should not be in the match at all, and it probably should have been Matt Cardona, Trick, Sami Zayn, and Orton.
I'm okay with Damian being in there because
I feel like Matt Cardona's just came back and he's talking about wanting to win the WWE title, coming back like Drew and Cody finishing his thing. And not only did he just lose to Trick Williams to not get in there, which is fine.
Yeah.
Not only just lose, so kind of killing his hype of him being back anyways. You had Kit Wilson, who is super over right now with this theme song, who is super over with his personality and this toxic masculinity thing, and he's, from the UK, so he got a pop. Come out there and just beat up Matt Cardona and throw him in steel steps.
You can't get over that, can you?
No, I'm fine with it. Listen, he is the only thing that made me fine with it too. No, the only thing that made me fine with it too is I'm like, oh, this is Chelsea Green's husband. And that reminded me that like if you're down to do whatever, it'll most likely pay off for you. And Matt Cardona will probably will be perfectly fine after this. We've seen Chelsea Green go into dumpsters and everything, and she's perfectly fine. Maybe Matt's going down that route, but I'm just like,
so Matt Cardona is starting to be like Zack Ryder all over again.
No, I don't even know if it's that. I don't even want to go that far yet. I just want to be like,
it's one match. Maybe
no, but I just think he would feel more important in this fatal four-way. Like you're killing his importance already. He just returned.
I absolutely agree, but there's no reason to leave Damian Priest out. I know you're so upset that Aleister Black didn't beat him. Which
that is dumb too. But I just don't. Listen, like. I just feel like this would be a great showcase to have both Trick and Matt in there against Orton and Sami. The other thing is too, like, I don't think I've ever really, like, I like Damian Priest. I think Damian Priest is cool. I think his aesthetic is cool. He hasn't felt the same since he's been solo. After the Judgment Day and after the Terror Twins, like, he just hasn't felt the same.
Well, they haven't used him enough, I feel.
But like, are you sitting, like, let me ask you this, I'm gonna put it like the point blank. Would you be more excited to see, whoa, Matt Cardona's close to actually winning the WWE title? Or are you like excited to see, like, disregard Sami and Randy and the other people? Like, if it was just between Matt Cardona and Damian Priest, are you more excited to see Damian Priest go win a world title again?
Against Drew?
Just against anybody. Are you more excited to see Matt Cardona potentially go win the title or just see Damian Priest as a champion again? Do you care for Damian Priest as a champion?
I like Damian, but in your point too, Matt is fresh, right? Matt just came back, so I can agree on that point.
If they did Trick Williams versus Damian and Matt Cardona versus Solo, and somehow Trick Williams got a cheating win over Damian because he's a bad guy and he can cheat to win, and Trick makes it to the match and Damian doesn't, which also leaves the potential of Damian Priest Trick Williams feud after this weekend, that would have been great. And Matt Cardona could have beat Solo for the same way Solo lost because of the YN6, and Matt Cardona could advance, and it would have been, I don't know, I just feel like that's better booking. I think the reason Damian's there is because, like I said, Damian is a likable person. I've met Damian, I've talked to Damian, I've interviewed Damian. I think Damian's a very likable person, but the Damian Priest character for me right now isn't doing it, and him being in this match kind of feels like 1997 fatal four-way Undertaker versus Stone Cold versus Bret Hart versus Vader, and you knew right away, like, oh, Vader's not going to win this.
Yeah.
That's what it, and not that Vader sucks. Vader was a man, but by that point, Vader wasn't at that tier. He dropped a tier.
Yeah, well,
Damian kind of feels like he's dropped a tier to me.
Yeah, I mean, if you had to rank even the fatal four, like, he's not going to get a pop. He's probably not even get a reaction, where I guess Cardona probably would have got a reaction because of what he's accomplished in the last couple of years.
If you did a false finish where it looked like Cardona was about to win, I feel like the fans would buy into that for a second.
Yeah, no one's gonna care right now for Damian Priest. Like
that is the point I was trying to make. Thank you. That's it. I just don't think the people care for Damian right now.
I also think
I like Damian. I just don't think people care for him right now.
We've met him, and
even as a wrestler, like, I don't mind him. I just don't think people care about him.
Yeah, because I don't think we've seen him enough. in the main
He
card.
just had a whole 4 or 5 month feud with Alistair on TV every week. Seen him enough.
That
They
didn't
just
count.
had an ambulance match at main evented SmackDown as like the big main event. Like, holy smokes.
know.
Seen him enough? That just shows that he's been shown. You just don't care. People don't care about him right now. And I want them to. I really do, but this isn't it. Him in this Fatal 4, he's not being like,
Okay, tell me this.
Nobody over the age of 15 years old is sitting there being like, Damian Priest is going to win this. Like,
You know what could have happened is Damian, for temporarily, could have been part of the whole Jacob, Cody, Drew McIntyre feud, and Cardona could have gone into the Fatal 4.
I don't even know if Damian needs to be part of that. Like, they need to.
He does.
I think what I said works best is Damian gets screwed out of getting into this match by Trick, and you use Damian to elevate Trick after this show.
And what's he gonna do? Beat him in an ambulance match again?
Another 4 or 5 month feud with Trick. That at least Trick has said beat a world champion. And speaking about Jacob, they still with this show never really clarified who attacked Jacob, and I like that. He called out Cody. He came after Drew. There's been no confirmation of who Jacob actually thinks attacked him. He's just mad at everybody. I like that. I like this. Wait, but then who did it? Mystery that we are going on right now.
I think it'd be quite interesting if he just starts, to never talk about it, and he just starts feuding. And then maybe as he gets closer to the title picture, or he's in the title picture, but like, let's assume he's about to win. Someone else comes out and attacks him, surprisingly, and that person reveals it was him or her that attacked Jacob.
That was Jordan Grace.
Yeah, it was
Jordan Grace all
2026.
along.
You never know, right?
No. It was Damian Priest. Watch. And then that's how Damian Priest becomes relevant again. Because he's the one that attacked Jacob.
I'd be okay with that. I would actually be okay with that.
I want them to figure something out with Damian.
I want Damian to go heel. That's what you want.
I just want something. Maybe there needs to be a draft. Maybe he needs to go to Raw. Maybe there needs to show. But they just need something with Damian. I actually want him to succeed. I just don't.
Do you think he's one of those?
I just feel like, why would you screw Matt Cardona for this? Like, hell.
Do you believe that Damian can win the world title again? Like,
I do. I genuinely do believe that.
Okay.
With the right momentum. I just don't think
he's just a one and done kind of guy?
No, I just don't think he has any momentum right now. I feel like they think he does because this whole feud with Alistair in the ambulance match, because they're in their bubble of booking this. But as a fan, I'm like, I feel no momentum.
Yeah. The modern day Undertaker?
I mean, he doesn't even have that fire right now. Speaking of someone that had a lot of momentum, was Finn Bálor going into Raw this week for facing off against CM Punk for the world title.
Yeah.
He was locked in all night. Did a Judgment Day segment in the back. He was locked in. They did a Jackie Redmond interviewed him, and he was like, "There's gonna be a new Irish world champion." And you know what? And
I bought into all of it, man. I did.
We talked about it. I'm like, I'm down with this going either way. I was happy if Finn won. I was hyped for it. I think long overdue would have been a big moment. He did not win. He did not.
I don't know if it's maybe a geographical thing, but why was Punk being cheered?
No, I would back that a little bit. He was being both. I feel like they booed him.
It started with the boos, which were loud in the beginning, and by the end of it, they were clapping and cheering for him when his song was over. Like, you can sing a song and then boom after.
They mentioned it, like, at least Cole mentioned at least 4 or 5 times. This is the first like televised event from Ireland, like I think ever.
Okay.
Like the first Raw, like it goes back to me being like,
I get it.
They're hungry. They're excited. They get to see CM Punk.
I wanted to see a hostile environment. I wanted to see the whole ECW mode.
I do believe they were obviously more behind Finn in the overall scheme of things, but I think they were just happy to see Punk. Like, at the end of the day, whether what we want to believe it or not, and we're also older, so like we also grew up with Punk, so I honestly don't look at Punk the same way I look at Bret Hart or Stone Cold or Ric Flair, the people I grew up as a little kid watching, because I remember him as the guy I watched as a teenager, and I love CM Punk, this, but like there's an audience there that like they watched CM Punk as a kid. And now they're like adults, and they're like 22, 24. They're seeing that guy for the first time. I get your
point of them being excited too, because for a split second, I don't know if you saw, they did show like I don't know. I feel like it was a little girl. She was very emotional and crying. Like they panned into the crowd. She started to break down when CM Punk's song hit. So
it's to see CM Punk. He left wrestling for 8 years. He's back. Who knows if it was almost kind of like, not that like CM Punk's on a retirement tour like Cena, but like every time Cena showed up somewhere the last year was special because the people like, this might be the only time I get to see John Cena in the ring again. people kind of feel the same way about Punk. Who knows if he's going to come to Ireland again next year? Like, who knows, right? Like,
great match though. It was
great
entertaining
match
the whole way through. They made us believe that Finn had that opportunity to win, and I thought, holy shit, they're gonna go to the Rumble with 2 brand new champions. Punk's gonna enter the Rumble, like this is gonna be star-studded. But
I thought they should have done it for Unreal Season 3. They should have.
Everything going forward is for Unreal.
Yeah, they should have plugged it. But Unreal Season 3, Finn Bálor and Drew both win titles, shaking things up. Episode 3, shaking things up.
Yeah, they're gonna need a writer for Unreal now. So it's not gonna be called. It's
they're
not
gonna need a writer for the writers' room segments in Unreal.
Yeah, that's what they're gonna need.
But no, and like OG Finn came out. He had the old school theme song, which honestly, in my brain predicted that he should do that, and he didn't. I'm like, oh yeah, sick. Like, don't come out to any of the judgment. Because remember the lights went out, and like everyone's just singing, like the fans like, oh yeah. I'm like, all the old school songs in it, like the Can't Breathe songs in it, and that's what hit. And every time I see that Finn, I'm like, just give us this Finn. Why can't he be in the Judgment Day, but also be this Finn? I'm like,
yeah. So now, do you think there's going to be issues when Dominic returns with Finn after that?
No, I don't think so. There's part of me too that like I'm curious to see what happens next. I'm sure next week Finn will declare himself for the Royal Rumble, and now there's a little bit more hype for him because he got really close to winning. But I think the Judgment Day is gonna be they're in an interesting spot. Like I said, I think by the end of this year we're gonna see them implode. I think they're gonna have to go up before they go down, and I think we're on the upswing right now. Even with the women and how they attacked Rhea and Io this week, like, and stood tall, all on the same page. Raquel, Liv, and Roxanne.
They're the main attraction right now on Raw. So
yeah, so I think we're going up, and by the summer we're going to start going down. Do I think there'll be tension between Dom and Finn? Maybe, but I don't think it's going to be because of this. I think this is just kind of an Ireland special,
Sure, one-off. We'll give it a one-off.
And I don't even want to say it's a one-off. Maybe Finn gets a rematch. Comes back to this after WrestleMania and whoever's champ, or
imagine if he wins a Rumble.
Imagine he wins a Rumble. But now it's a little bit more believable that like he would be fired up to do it. Remember last week how you talked about like, oh, it doesn't feel like there's a lot of people that could win. Maybe this position Finn in a position where we're like, oh, maybe he could win because he got so close and he didn't get it.
One more added to the list of like 2 guys. So now maybe 3 guys are believable.
Chaos.com, Jackpot City keeps you in the action. Free spins and big wins and more drama than the WrestleMania main event. RV, we're going to do it again. Here we are, 3 spins. If I win any money, I get to make my choice. If I don't win any money, you get to make your choice. What match should have main evented WrestleMania? Hopefully I don't have to do this again. Hopefully, let's see what happens here. Spin number 1. Spin number 2.
Looking good, looking good.
Spin number 3. RV, what match do you think should have main evented WrestleMania that did not?
Time for me to talk. It should have been Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle from WrestleMania 21. Probably one of the greatest WrestleMania matches of all time. In my opinion, that should have been the main event that year.
It was a banger of a match, but it was a pretty stacked WrestleMania, so that's pretty insane to think about.
Head to jackpotcity.com, catch your bonus today, play like a champ, and win like a champion.
Speaking of the Royal Rumble, we got a big match situation going on, big stipulations. AJ Styles.
I was shocked.
Came out there, confronted Gunther, who declared himself for the Rumble, and said, I want a rematch. And Gunther said, no. What the hell? And then AJ said, you're scared. And Gunther said, you know what? I'll do it if you put your career on the line. We had half the night of just AJ contemplating needing to call his wife, figuring out if he wants to put his career on the line, to like right before the final match of the night, he went to Adam Pearce and said he agrees and he wants to do it. So it's Gunther versus AJ Styles in Saudi Arabia at the Royal Rumble with AJ Styles' career on the line.
Maybe AJ just woke up one day and he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. So this is my last month.
Well, we know.
I don't know. This is crazy because now what if Gunther loses? Then there goes that whole retirement Gunther mode now too. Now he's tapped. Now he can't get people to retire because he couldn't beat AJ Styles unless this is a build-up of a 3-part series against Gunther, a best of.
If Gunther loses, Gunther gets obsessed with wanting to retire AJ Styles at the end of the year. And that's the thing that hit me too, is I was like, oh, we all heard that AJ wants to retire in 2026. He never said when. He never said he never said it's going to be at the end of the year. It's going to be in the summer. I'm going to have a year-long tour. I'm like, oh yeah, he's never really like.
He's never said, I want a final WrestleMania. I want a final Money in the Bank or a chamber match. He just said, I'm going to retire. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is
he does.
2026.
I don't think it is. I think this is a false finish. I don't think he's actually retired. But like to your point, like maybe this ends up being like a 2-3 part and he retires at WrestleMania this year. But it just hit me that like he could retire. This isn't a John Cena situation. Like he can choose to retire next month if he wanted to.
He could. But like, I was so shocked to hear that the retirement match is happening in Saudi.
But it adds to like the excitement to watching the match.
Are they still participating in the Rumble? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, well, I know Gunther's. One of the points he made was, I don't want to do double duty, but then like he's going to do it now if he put his career in the line. So Gunther's still in the Rumble.
Which I like that because old school ways, sometimes you'd still wrestle a match and enter the Rumble. I like that.
Once in a while. And for AJ, I don't know 100% if he's in the Rumble now, but I know Gunther declared.
Yeah, he was on the list.
Mentioned doing double duty, so I assume he will. I'm not saying I know for sure.
Now,
prediction. What they left us with, this seems like he is.
Well, I'm just going to ask you, who wins the match? Who do you got?
Gunther. I mean AJ. Sorry, my bad. AJ. I don't think it ends here. I think it's going to be a roller coaster ride. They're going to make us think it's ending. That's what makes us fun with a stipulation like this. Because we know he wants to retire this year. It could actually happen. It's in Saudi. They could have paid for it to happen there. Like, I don't know. But that being said, like, I don't know. I don't think I'm like, there's so much meat left on the bone of things you can do with AJ before he leaves. Matches that he could still have.
He said he's going to retire in 2026. So maybe he never gave us a date. Maybe
it's WrestleMania. Maybe it's SummerSlam. Maybe it's a Saturday night's main event in December, and then you buy the wrong ring mat memorabilia from it.
Thank you for reminding me. I gotta make that call. I can't believe I never even looked at the date.
I know, but that's a side note. But I just, I don't. Do you think it's gonna happen? Do you think AJ loses?
It's in Saudi. I feel like he wants to be in front of his home crowd in the U.S.
Does he? Does it matter to him? AJ seems like the most
so wild. Yeah. I'm gonna say AJ's gonna win because I don't want AJ to win. I want Gunther to have this streak of like just terrorizing people. But I guess Gunther. You know what's gonna happen? Not only is Gunther gonna lose, we're gonna make him tap again.
I don't think he's gonna tap. I think he'll lose. I think he'll be 1, 2, 3.
He loses.
I don't think he'll tap. I don't think he can tap yet.
Or we've seen wrestling do this before. Gunther wins somehow, cheats. And everyone feels sorry for AJ Styles, and he comes back one last time, just like Rock and Cena, right?
No, I don't think so. I think it's like even like it could be stuffy like a quick roll up, a reversal to a move that somehow, AJ got the 3 out of nowhere. That Gunther's like, hey, wait a minute, like no sells the pin because he
wasn't ready for it or something.
Yeah, like what the hell, like or Gunther did actually like get his hand on the rope and the ref doesn't see it, and then it continues. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, if AJ cheats to stay alive,
not even cheats. Like it's just like a ref blind spot or something. Where AJ is like, okay, fine, let's have another rematch, and Gunther's like, no, like
But I am definitely intrigued with this match now.
Yeah. How'd you feel? How'd you feel about Natalia's heel turn? I kind of felt was inevitable.
Yeah,
I was once again just upset because I was like, just put the belt back on Maxine. But okay, it's cool. We saw it's coming. The moment I saw Natty backstage being like, hey, I want to come out to it with you. I'm like, oh, she's gonna screw Maxine.
She's looked so badass wearing like that black gear. And so when she came out with Maxine like wearing all that red again, I'm like, oh man, she's back to me.
Yeah, so I'm hoping this leads to that though. I hope whatever this heel turn is leads to her becoming low-key Natty with the mouth guard and the black and the braided hair. Like I hope we get that now. I just think maybe they want to show us the transition than her just coming out like that. That's what was my take.
She needs to win a singles title, and she deserves to win a singles title.
Wow.
She's good.
Go on.
Well, what do you mean, well?
I don't know, because my whole thing was like Maxine should have just won the title back. Natty still could have turned on her, and then Natty could have beat Maxine because Becky and AJ Lee does not need the Intercontinental title. I've said this so many times.
But this is a way for them to build up a Natty as a badass, I think. Right? Yeah. To bring her in as a character. Sure, Maxine could have won and then she could have challenged her, but I like this approach better. That she's just sick and tired of these new up-and-coming women using Natty, being all buddy-buddy with her, and then she pushes them and then she gets held back. So I like the storyline. And like I said, hopefully this leads to her winning. Hey, you know what? This can be her opportunity later on this year to win Money in the Bank, and then she can cash in.
I don't know if all that's going to happen.
I think we're too much into it, but
I do think low-key Natty should be an Intercontinental champion. I do think Maxine should have won. I just and I do gotta remember, and it's also the part of like, don't forget, before Natty like disappeared off TV for a minute, she lost to Becky challenging for that title, and then following that, Maxine won that title. The feud should be around that title.
It still could be. We don't know.
But I don't see Becky dropping it now. I see Becky going into the Royal Rumble and then going into WrestleMania, probably going into the Royal Rumble. AJ Lee's a surprise entrant, eliminates Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch and AJ settle this stuff at WrestleMania.
The feud's not over. I don't think the feud's over with Maxine and Becky yet. And Natty now.
I think they've moved on. I think Becky moves on and it's Maxine and Natty in their own feud. And I think we slowly see this Natty turn into low-key Natty, more aggressive, more the one we've been seeing on the independents.
Becky and Natty start teaming up against Maxine and AJ Lee.
That match might potentially happen on the road to WrestleMania, without a doubt.
I can see that.
That can definitely happen. I just don't.
I'm excited for Natty to get her.
I just feel like if you saw me in the writers' room and WWE Unreal, I'd be sitting at that table being like,
"Is everything going to need to?
Why does Becky need this belt to face AJ Lee? They're both legacy superstars that are big names. That them just facing each other already is big enough. Natty's a legacy wrestler too. Don't get me wrong." But this could help Maxine feel like a bigger deal. That would be my argument.
Yeah, she's going on the fans end.
Because if WWE still did pre-shows and kickoffs like that, unfortunately, and I know WrestleMania is 2 nights now, but if it was still like I'm doing a hypothetical here. This doesn't exist. But if WrestleMania was still 1 night and those pre-shows, a match like Natty and Maxine would only hit the pre-show of WrestleMania. Yeah. But if it had the belt.
That'd be mean. Yeah,
you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
I hope you're wrong. I hope Natty does obtain a title and Becky does stay in there. But let's see where this feud goes. I'm just excited that Natty will get some screen time back on television, and I hope she just destroys Maxine. As much as I've liked her, we need Natty to be.
I need Natty to destroy Maxine at least once before Maxine gets a comeback for sure.
Yeah.
Like, it shouldn't just be like Maxine beats Natty. Like, no, Natty needs to look strong and come out of this looking good as well.
I got that sense where when Natty told Maxine, "I'll be in your corner tonight," I just had a feeling this was a night that she's turning on Maxine.
The moment Natty showed up backstage, I'm like, this is it. Because we haven't seen Natty. All of Maxine's run, we haven't seen. She's like, I'm going to go call Natty. Yeah, we've seen it in the video packages. We haven't seen Natty.
Tapping out to Maxine. Unbelievable.
Yeah, so I was just like, oh, like she's here to screw Maxine. I thought Natty was going to screw Maxine in the last match with Becky when Becky won the title back. And I just, but I was just like, all right, like this is it. And it was so subtle too initially too. Like Maxine once again almost beat Becky clean. Actually almost beat Becky clean. And then Natty put Becky's foot on the rope. And you're like, oh. I just knew what the problem with Natty too. Not a problem. It's a good problem. Is that Natty's been in the company for so long. Is that like you're like, damn, she's turned face and heel so many times. But it's only because she's been in the company so long. Yeah. Speaking about champions though, like Intercontinental champs, all that, we have championship implications at the Saturday night's main event this upcoming Saturday. There's only 3 matches that have been announced so far, and only one of them doesn't have championship implications. Let's make a quick prediction for the 3 matches that we know. There might be a match added on Friday. First things first, the one that has nothing to do with the championship right now. Both men, we saw Cody declare himself for the Royal Rumble, so then both might be in there, but Cody versus Jacob Fatu. How do you see this playing out?
Drew comes, interferes, because they're going to build up this triple threat.
Yeah, and I just feel like this match ends in some sort of like no finish DQ. These guys just brawl. Something, fight, because you can't have Jacob lose. This is his return match. No. And as much as like, I don't need Cody to be champion forever, that can't have your main guy lose that often either. So it's like,
he's not going to lose back to back.
So it's like, I feel like these guys just fight. It turns into a situation where they pull apart, they start fighting to the backstage area. It adds with like maybe Cody putting Jacob through a table or vice versa. Like, Jacob Fatu throwing Cody off the stage. Like, it's going to end in some big bang, but it's just not going to be a clean finish.
Yeah, I think Drew's going to come interfere, kick someone in the face.
I don't even know if there's going to be interference. Maybe it's just these two fighting. I just don't think there's
because Drew might be like, the hell with these guys. Let them beat each other up. Why am I?
He's very happy.
Yeah.
So he has no dog in this fight. He's like, if they want to beat each other up, great. That's 2 people that might come after my title. Let them kill each other. Yeah. Right? Like,
so I'll be surprised if either one of them lose clean. I would be surprised because you can't bring in Jacob and now he loses to Cody. Then
if this was like the late 90s or the early 2000s, they would fight. Someone would be taken on a stretcher like Cody. He'd be going in the ambulance. Jacob Fatu would jump in a truck and smash the ambulance. That's the type of situation I see happening, you know? Like, and then Cody makes his comeback at the Royal Rumble, big comeback story. Will he make it or not? You know, but that's just, you know, like, I just feel like something big needs to happen here to like
you gotta keep this storyline going for a while. So I want to stay excited. I don't want to see any clean finishes yet.
I don't want just a table spot or something. I want like something crazy to happen.
Yeah.
I want someone to like try to kill the other person.
And
even though we don't even know if Jacob thinks Cody attacked him or not.
Yeah.
Then we have a women's tag team title match. Rio, they're actually going by the name now that I think the internet created, but I could be wrong. Against Liv Morgan, and I love how Liv Morgan, like, if she wasn't wearing
there's
heels,
a wrestler named Rio in AEW.
I know, but I know. But like if Liv Morgan wasn't wearing heels or like boots with a heel on or something, like she would probably be like if not like maybe an inch taller than Roxanne. And she keeps referring to Roxanne as my little Roxanne. And maybe it's an age thing because there is like a 10-year age difference, but it's just like, and my little Roxy here. Like little, you guys like the same size.
Yeah.
But Roxanne and Liv go for the women's tag team titles. How do you think this goes?
I don't know how to go. I'm going to say Liv wins. Liv and Roxanne win because I'm going to stick to my prediction from last week. Rhea and Io go into the Rumble and WrestleMania season as single competitors. So I think they drop the titles.
I agree. I think so too. Yep. I think Liv and Roxanne, I think Judgment needs that momentum. I think Liv wins a belt she never lost again with Roxanne.
And like I said last week, right? I think you need that star power for the women for
I think you let them build like this Friday, because even this week where Liv was like, I thought you were shady Roxanne, but I've learned to like admire you and yada, 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 like, and trust you. Like we know that these two aren't going to last long either somewhere along the line, but let them have some glory first. Let them win the tag titles. Let that maybe be the issue, that they win the tag titles and Raquel couldn't win the world. Like there's some sort of issues, right? Like I don't even know if Liv and Roxanne will be tag champions. That's the beauty about these women's tag titles is it's okay if they switch a lot. It doesn't bother me at all. So I don't even know if Liv and Roxanne make it to WrestleMania as tag champions, but like let them have it. I do think though we need to go back to Rhea versus Io by WrestleMania. I think that needs to be a singles match on the card. Now that I think, because like I said last week, there's still that lingering thing that the only person Rhea's never been able to beat is Io Sky.
I don't know if you need to do it yet. You can still wait on it.
You can go past WrestleMania.
Yeah. So that's something I'm like dying to see at this moment. I just think somehow they need to get back into the title picture or have some meaningful feud or.
Because think about it, like Liv and Roxanne beefing with Lash and Nia and Alexa and Charlotte and all these other tag teams just seems more appealing to me then.
Yeah, I mean, you might be right too. You also said last week that we might have like an 8-woman tag match, right? Like,
like a 14 tag match at WrestleMania
ladder match,
something.
right? Like a women's ladder match. That'd be pretty cool too.
Yeah,
so
and those tag teams, right?
Yep.
So it's like you throw Chelsea and Alba trying to go after the title. Like but like Rhea and Io are two single stars that should eventually wanted to go after the women's title again.
They are, but if they get screwed by a tag team on Saturday night's main event, which they probably will, by Nia and Lash Legend, maybe they ride.
It could be like WrestleMania 21, where Ray and Eddie were friends, but they just wrestled each other for the sake of competition until they broke down, and then next thing you know, Eddie became Dom's dad. Lastly, Randy Orton versus Trick Williams versus Damian Priest versus Sami Zayn for the #1 contendership at the Royal Rumble for the WWE Championship. Who do you got?
Sticking to my prediction from last week, I'm going Sami Zayn.
I agree. I think that's
in Montreal. Yeah, it's in
Montreal.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna be Sami Zayn.
Yeah, I'm here for Sami. So I'm gonna go with Sami, and I think Orton comes around down the line. I think Trick will get a shot one day. And Damian Priest, I forgot he was almost in the match second here, but you know, he'll get there one day again too if we get some momentum.
The Fatal 4, I think Trick gets into a feud. Hey, you know what? Maybe Matt Cardona comes out and screws over Trick Williams. No, he'll probably get Damian and Trick will probably still get into a rivalry after this, based off of this match. And the last one, at least, we'll wrap this up. So far for the men's Rumble, Cody Rhodes, Gunther, Jey Uso, Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee, Penta have all declared for the Rumble. We're 2 weeks away, and I was like, nobody declared, and then everybody started declaring this week, so that's solid. On the women's side, Rhea Ripley, Io, Liv, Roxanne, Raquel, Bayley, Lyra, Asuka, and have all declared as well. So
I don't know if there's any favorites out of this thus far. I mean, Cody seems like a clear-cut favorite of someone that could potentially win the
Really? You're going to let him
men's.
win it 3 times?
I wouldn't let him win it, but I said out of the names that we said,
Okay.
Cody and Gunther probably are the most believable. I don't think Jay's going to win it again or any of the Luchas.
You don't have any faith in Jey Uso?
No, not right now. Not at this. Do you want to see Jey Uso versus Drew McIntyre or Jey Uso versus CM Punk at WrestleMania?
Yeah, why not, man? Bring back
Gunther and Cody are probably the clear favorites. And then for the women,
or
I don't know,
Brock
like,
Lesnar.
no, because I'm saying out of the people that declared.
Sure.
I'm not saying Brock Lesnar is. We don't even know where he is. Like, out of the people that declared, are there any clear favorites?
That's what he's doing right now.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Like on the women's side, are there any clear favorites for you? I'm still gonna ride my maybe it's Liv Morgan wave somehow.
Raquel.
Maybe Raquel.
Yeah.
Raquel winning would be cool and like almost as unpredictable as Jey Uso winning last year. We're like, oh, that's a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
Like that. I'm actually glad that
I don't know if she's gonna have her women's rumble match though for the world title if Stephanie is doing okay. But
I think she'll be back by Mania though, so it doesn't matter. So like, no, I think Raquel's not having a match at the Rumble for the title because I think Raquel's in the Rumble.
It's going to be one of the Judgment Day members, right? Raquel or.
And I think I forgot to mention Kairi Sane, who promised Asuka that she was going to help her win. So
I love the Kabuki Warriors.
we could have a Final Four that leads to like Liv, Roxanne, and Raquel, which would be cool too. Against like a Rhea or something. Yeah, Rhea planted the seeds. Like all 3 of you in the Rumble. Like, how are you 3 going to get along? So you never know.
Yeah, it's interesting times. I'm excited. Even for the women, I'm kind of excited to see how this all pans out. All because of what's happening with the members of Judgment Day. It's making the whole division exciting for me.
And we don't know, like come Friday, Alexa, Charlotte, Nia, Lash might all declare for the Rumble. Julia, Chelsea, Green, like there's a bunch of people that are still going to declare. Who knows, next week on Raw, Becky might be like, I'm going to the Rumble.
Yeah.
Like who knows what's going to happen. Maybe AJ Lee wins it all and then challenges for the Intercontinental title.
I really hope AJ Lee doesn't win. I want AJ Lee to win.
We'll see what happens. First Rumble in a minute without Punk in it, so we'll see. But yeah. Guys, that's it for this week's episode of Bell to Bell. You guys haven't already, check out jackpotcitycasino.com and download the app if you want to play on your phone, play on the go. It's just fun betting. It's fun time. It's fun to just like hit the slots and like see if you can win some money. But yeah, make sure you guys, if you haven't already, subscribe to us on TikTok, subscribe to us on YouTube, Bell to Bell. Follow us on Instagram. Follow the Wrestling Classic. Follow Rain City Toys on Instagram. Anything else you want to add, Ari, before we wrap this up?
Just subscribe, like, comment, and share. Do everything. Do all the social media stuff.
Yeah, do all the social media stuff. Keep doing the thing, and we'll see you all next time.